And finally, which, you know, it's interesting. Today is Saturday. Well, you'll be seeing this Saturday, I should say. Today's Friday. The crypto cave, in which I do all my videos. You know, I've showed you a little bit of the inside. It needs a ceiling, you know, it's just a partially finished area out, whatever. I done found me a handyman. And his little sidekick, etc. I don't know if he's little, whatever, his sidekick and him. Coming tomorrow. They're going to at least get started. I don't know how much they're going to do. So I don't know if Sunday's videos are going to be here or I'll be like sitting outside somewhere in my house, maybe set up a little tripod out in the screen porch or something. I have no idea. Maybe do some videos out there or something like that. So just an FYI. I told you as soon as I get this house paid, you know, get the house and, you know, set close on it. It's ours, you know, right away. Let me find somebody. So got somebody. I'm excited. I can't wait to do this. And I'm telling you, I am telling you, there's going to be some little SETI, C-E-S-I, or is it C-E-T-I, with a little SETI sessions, or what is that, SETI? You know, not SETI, what is it? What do they call it? The contact things. Stephen Greer. What do they call that? Stand by. It's bothering me. Stephen Greer, SETI. Stephen Greer, SETI, right? SETI? C-SET. C-SETI. C-S-E-T-I. C-SETI. Home. Center for the Study of Extraterrestrial Intelligence. I can't wait to put a 55-inch screen on that wall right there that you cannot see. Let me just show you, though. Let me just show you. Why not? What the hell? I gotta do is pick this thing up. Right? So we're at the green screen. Again, need a ceiling. There's the door. Got the alarm. Right over here, I want to put like a 55-inch screen on the wall. Again, this is going to look like a nice wall when it's done. There's the entrance. That air conditioner will be going probably right back here where my green screen is. That stuff's coming out. Knock it down. Get rid of it. Where you see the garage and basically the beam that is right above that open cabinet with no doors, that's where the wall is going to be. So I want to put like a couch or maybe a love seat or something right where that cabinet and those little salt bags, those blue salt bags are, and then like a nice couch, you know, like I'm really looking like those little movie theater couches, you know, like put your drinks and stuff against the wall here. And I'll also have a door that leads to the garage. So 55-inch screen on the wall, man, they are so cheap at Walmart, it'll make your head spin. But I would love to come in here and then I got that little controller box, set up my little camera thing out there with the night vision that awesome Cliff High gave me. Generation 3 military style, you know, night vision goggles to look up at the sky, have some little C-SETI sessions at the JSNIP 4, as I like to call it now, the Crypto Ranch. Hey, Stephen Greer, next time you're down here, bring your peeps. We're going to have a little session up in the Crypto Cave. That will be cool. And even without him, you know, I'm sure people will want to come. So maybe I could schedule something like that every now and then and just have, you know, 10, 15 people or something over here. I don't know. Just to do it. Because I mean, I've seen some of their videos where they're like on the coast and you see these lights come in and power up and zzz, way out off the coast of Florida, like East Coast. As if whatever's out there knew these people were going to be there that night trying to make contact or whatever. Very fascinating stuff to me, by the way. I'd love to be a part of that. Hell, I can do it for my house. We're kind of out in the country a little bit. You know, can we, hey, extraterrestrial, ET, can we get a little power up? A little power up in the sky? Appreciate that. Boom. Oh, there it is. You know, that'd be cool. Who knows? But that's one thing I would like to do. So I want to read you this article from economicprism.com. Fed quack treatments are causing the stagnation. This is a pretty good article. Because he goes on to tell you pretty much there's no fix. The Fed only knows one thing. It is a one-trick pony. Oh, we got tools in the toolbox. No, you don't. No, you don't. You are a debt creation machine. You only create debt, and that's how your system works, is more debt, more credit, which leads to more debt. There's something alluring about cure-alls and quick fixes. Who doesn't want a magic panacea to make every illness or discomfort disappear? Such a yearning once compelled the best and the brightest minds to believe the impossible for over 2,000 years. For example, from antiquity until the late 19th century, Bloodletting was used to treat nearly every disease. Reputable medical reference has recommended bloodletting as a cure for acne and asthma and cancer and epilepsy and gout, indigestion, insanity, leprosy, pneumonia, scurvy, tuberculosis, and everything in between. Bloodletting was even used to treat hemorrhaging, believe it or not. The practice was simple enough. A surgeon, often a barber, would open a vein and drain blood from the patient. Somehow this was supposed to cure them of disease. The fundamental idea was that a sick person could be bled to health. I think I know where he's going with this one. Induced feigning via bloodletting was even considered beneficial. However, the results were often fatal. On December 13th, 1799, George Washington returned from a cold winter's horseback ride across his estate with a raspy throat. So he requested bloodletting to make his sore throat better. Over a 10-hour period, roughly 126 ounces of blood was drained from his system. The next day, Washington's treatment achieved its perfect success. Because of the bloodletting, Washington never suffered from a sore throat again. He'd received a permanent cure. Namely, he croaked. Wouldn't a tablespoon or two of honey and lemon have been a better solution to the sore throat problem? Sure, it would have been less effective. But it also wouldn't have been so permanently terminal. Curing a debt problem with credit. Certainly, repeated observations of the practice must have shown bloodletting's cure-all powers to be dubious at best. You'd think that after several thousand years of failure, the practice would have been tabled. But it wasn't. In fact, by the 17th century, many doctors knew bloodletting was more harmful than beneficial. But the practice persisted for another 200 years. How come? From what we gather, doctors didn't want to acknowledge their limitations. You know, in other words, we are effing useless to you people. We're useless. You have no need for us whatsoever. Kind of like the shaman. You know, the shaman, we need a shaman in the tribe. When our crops aren't growing and we need it to rain, we need the shaman to do his little rain dance. Sometimes the shaman gets lucky. Many times he doesn't. But when he doesn't, he's got to make up an excuse why it didn't work this time. Listen, Chief, the gods are angry. They're angry at us. They're angry at us? Me? We have good people. We make sacrifices to them on a weekly basis. Sometimes we do 2 a week. I mean, they're mad at us? Because if the shaman doesn't give them a good answer, the shaman's canned. See how that works? The doctors don't want to be told they're freaking useless. You know, just go along with it. So anyways, the doctors didn't want to acknowledge their limitations. Although they had garnered an astute understanding of how the human anatomy functioned, they had yet to discover cures for practically all diseases. Thus, the common belief was that it was better to give a bloodletting treatment than no treatment at all. These days, many diseases are still without cures, but progress has been made. Doctors and surgeons no longer imagine bloodletting to be the ultimate cure-all. Only a medical quack would carry out such a barbarous treatment. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said for present-day monetary policy. We live under a system of outright quackery. What else but a quack monetary system would prescribe ever-increasing expansions of credit as a cure-all for a debt problem? Nonetheless, perpetual increases of credit underpin today's wild and zany debt-based fiat money system. This, no doubt, is akin to attempting to bleed a patient to health. It also guarantees a slow and painful death. Fed quack treatments are causing the stagnation. On Tuesday, Fed Chair Janet Yellen, a quack, reeled back her 78-month plan for the national monetary policy of the United States. If you recall, this was the grand plan she rolled out last week. Apparently, she's already having some reservations. At the National Association for Business Economics in Cleveland, Yellen said, quote, "My colleagues and I may have misjudged the strength of the labor market, the degree to which longer-run inflation expectations are consistent with our inflation objective, or even the fundamental forces driving inflation. Although we judge that inflation will most likely stabilize around 2% over the next few years, the odds that it could turn out to be noticeably different are considerable. In my view, it strengthens the case for a gradual pace of adjustments. Moving too quickly risks over-adjusting policy to head off projected developments that may not come to pass. End quote. To be fair, Yellen was speaking about the pace at which the Fed will raise the federal funds rate. Though this is different from her plan to unwinding the Fed's balance sheet, we suspect that in time, this same rationale will be used to justify further Fed asset purchases rather than unwinding. Or we may, I'll throw this in there. We may see a carnival of events, like they're actually unwinding the balance sheet while simultaneously buying it up. The newer stuff, they're unwinding the garbage, but the newer stuff's coming in, which is just a trick, and they're buying it back up and then buying extra. Little pro tip from Jason before. That's how that would go if they want to get creative. It would look really cool. Let's sell and buy it back at the same time. The point is, the Fed only knows one and only one cure-all treatment for the economy's stagnation. Always wrong, but never in doubt. Credit expansion is the Fed's perennial solution. Alas, the bloodletting barbers of the 19th century, it's a quack treatment that has buried the economy under irreconcilable levels of debt. Yet the quacks who deliver it are oblivious to the fact that their treatment is not a cure for the economy's stagnation, but rather the cause. Perhaps in 2,000 years from now, they'll come to grips with this. Sincerely, M.N. Gordon for Economic Prism. I believe the Fed does, in fact, know what they're doing and what's causing the problems. But like the doctor, we don't want to let everybody know that we're effing useless. We're causing the problem. The doctor doing the bloodletting on you is causing you to potentially die. You're going to bleed a slow death, son. I'm going to bleed you. I'm going to bleed you. Well, not on Predator, the first Predator. I'm going to bleed you. Ain't got time to bleed. Nope. But you got time to go broke and in debt. Because that's how our system is. Everything else, unbelievable technology, electricity, internet, fiber. I got a fiber optic cable ran to my house from my crypto shed thing here. Fiber optic, up to 10 gigabits if I really wanted it. From my house to here, not to the actual internet. Technology is amazing. Your banking and financial system must be unbelievable on planet Earth. Speaking of the SETI, alien comes down, talks to us. About that part. You've seen us advance? You've been watching? Yeah. About the financial part. We're light years behind where we should be on that one. Yeah. That's because the banksters remain the banksters at the top in running society as long as that system is in place. When that system is not in place, they don't rule the roost. And that's why it remains. Okay? Take care.